Hey everybody, Tony D, Little Jones on the couch, fast asleep. We're going to take a screenwriter's rant look at Stowaway, a new film on Netflix, a sci-fi movie. But first up, I want to tell you that the Webcomic Factory, we got some technical issues. I'm not sure what happened. I think we got a virus. My tech guy had it fixed and then it came right back. So he's working on it. Hopefully, be up and running tomorrow. But these things happen about once a year. We get a virus and it shuts down the site. But we'll be back. Don't you worry. Okay, Stowaway, starring Ana Kendrick, is a sci-fi movie, and the premise is this guy who's like a tech somehow gets locked into a spaceship and blasted into space like the far out Space Nuts. Now, if you don't know what the Far Out Space Nuts is, you can Google it and watch a show I used to watch as a kid. And the joke was it was about these two guys. They were like kind of like janitors or about at that level. And one was Bob Denver, who used to be Gilligan on Gilligan's Island, only he was older. And the other guy was supposed to be, he was cast as like a skipper, but it wasn't the skipper. It was another guy who sort of looked like him. And the premise of the show is they went in to give the astronauts their meals, like to put them in this machine so when they were in space, they could eat them. So they're just sort of putting them in this machine, and the fat guy pushes the thing. He goes, okay, breakfast, and he pushes a button, and then dinner, he pushes another button, and lunch, and then he pushes a button and he goes, I said lunch, not launch. And they launch the ship and they end up in space, but they're not astronauts. And that's the whole premise of the show. And they meet a little alien, and it's a live action show. It's actually kind of funny. It looks more amusing than this. And the reason being is the premise of this movie, and and total spoilers, which they give in the trailer. So you can see this is the whole crew, right? The other guys are all doctors. He somehow got locked in the ship and blasted into space. And there's an accident, and now they only have enough air for 3 people. Yeah. I mean, this is an old. I don't know if it's a joke or it's just a mind exercise. You know, how do you get back to Earth if you only got enough oxygen for 3? Who sacrifices himself? That kind of mind exercise, I guess. It's dumb. It's dumb to do this. It's especially dumb to put it in the trailer. I mean, this is just like way too on the nose. Initially, I thought it could have been an interesting story, a fish out of water story about a guy who had no intention of going into space, trapped in space. And the premise is they're going to Mars to, I don't know, start laying the groundwork for a future colony. But, you know, they're coming back in 2 years. So he's trapped, even though, like, his sister needs him or something. I don't know. It just seems to be a bunch of needless drama already on this. Is this a show? I know it's a movie. So, I think we all know the ending. They're not all going to die, number one. The tagline is something about sacrifice, so one of them's going to die. So the other 2 can, or the other 3, yeah, here it is here. What does it say? Survival comes, something. I don't know. I forget the tagline. But one of them is going to kill themselves in order to make sure that the others live. And it'll probably be him. But, you know, that to me is not a good story. It's just not. It's a mind exercise. It's meant so I watched this movie Stowaway. You know, what if you were trapped on a spaceship and you weren't supposed to be there and they only had oxygen for, you know, as many people that were on the ship except for one somehow. It's dumb. They had plants on the damn thing. Couldn't the plants provide some of the oxygen? I think I learned that somewhere. It's just dumb. I can't get over how dumb that is, because it's not dramatic. It's not likely. I'll tell you that it's not likely. Look, the Apollo guys, they got into some trouble, but that was like 1960s technology, and they still came up with ways of fixing things and saving the Apollo team. This feels like, they blasted three nerds and a tech guy in space, and they still aren't coming up with a solution. No, 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 no. And that it's not an interesting story in my view. It's not. What would be interesting is a fish out of water story about a guy who, I guess he worked at the space company and gets stuck on the ship, but he didn't want to leave home ever. Like, that would be the dichotomy. Like, oh, I never wanted to leave. He didn't want to leave the state, much less move to Mars. When's this out? April 22nd, if you want to watch it. I'm giving it such a glowing recommendation, right? Yeah, it's just, I don't buy it. But you could make a drama about a guy who has to deal with his demons about being far away from home, and now he's stuck. Maybe he has to deal with it forever. Like, the ship can't go back. He'll never get back home. It'll be decades before he's home. And he has to deal with that. He has to move to Mars. There's no other choice. And he's left things behind. He's afraid. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff to mine from. This is just, it feels artificial. It feels so artificial and forced. You could have come up with so many great things about a guy who didn't really want to leave home, but he's forced to for circumstances. Although look, they have so many instruments and detection systems on these space launches. You can't stow away. You know how much weight that throws off the whole launch? Yeah, they did it in Archer. Archer's a cartoon, and it's a comedy. You can't do it like this. And even in Archer, they dealt with it better than they're doing it here. In Archer, they were like, oh my God, you had two other bodies, totally threw off the weight. We would totally miss our trajectory. They had to readjust. This isn't, I don't even hear anything that smart in this trailer. Ana Kendrick is a doctor, but she sounds more like a pediatrician when she's treating this guy. It's just, no. I don't know what it is about space movies, the ones that are supposedly realistic, that get me infuriated. This and the one with Sandra Bullock, was it Gravity? Oh, that one's brutal. That is absolutely brutal. And it's not like I'm a space expert, but I know some things. The Martian was good. I like the one with Matt Damon. It's pretty good. Interstellar? No. No Interstellar. No. This I would put almost in that category. It's too contrived. I'm sorry. I'm out.